So this is the tutorial to use the app that goes with the Bee Cafe. It's app.beecafeuk.org. And the point of this app is to be able to monitor what's going on with the volunteers looking after the bee cafes. Now, it's intended that the bee cafes will scale beyond the tens we have at the moment to maybe hundreds or even not thousands. And when we get to that kind of scale, we need to make sure they're being looked after. We know all the volunteers are doing a great job, as we're a small community around Woodbridge, but eventually we want to scale this nationally. And to do that, we had to put something in place to better monitor them. So when the planters are out there and we have a dry spell, we need to know they're being monitored and all those nice flowers are being looked after and thriving. Now, the first screen you get is this one, and you'll need to log in. Now, you can log in here, but maybe it's your first time and you need to register. So you go to registration, where you can put your name in, create your username, your email, passwords, and then sign up. I've already done that, so I'm going to put mine in. And there we go, I'm now logged in, and that gives me my unique set of data to me. Now, here we can see the general map. We have the home, we have the bee passes, we have the cafes, we have activity, and then we can assign tasks to each thing. So that may be that we've monitored something and it needs a watering, or we can put in regular tasks, say check it once a week, for make sure the plants are thriving and just make sure it doesn't need watering. Now, on the bee passes, the whole idea behind bee cafes is we're building a bee corridor. Now, if we go onto this layered button over here, we can see bee passes, but we can also see bee lines. And if we add in bee lines, we can see the bee lines around the country, and we can see there's a bee line going down through Deben there, Orwell, but we're not quite connected across Woodbridge. So the point is we're going to add in bee cafes to create a bee pass from one to the other, so then the bees, the pollinators and the bugs can thrive through that piece there. As we zoom in, we can see we have this bee pass, the Woodbridge bee pass. And then if we move to cafes, we can see all the cafes on the map that were being looked after. Each volunteer will be assigned to a cafe or maybe many cafes. And if we pick on a map and just pick one and say the Deben Sill there, we get a nice picture, some activity, and some descriptions. What we can see is following it, we can see the collaborators, and then we can see the activity that's been assigned there. So we go into activity, we can see a bit of notes and pictures and things. And there we go. We have a notification there on this one. It says, needs water, 9 minutes ago. So that's going to be one of the big cafes that we're monitoring with sensors, and it's telling us it's a bit dry. Right, so if we go back up to our main map again, we can pick another one, Wistocks. There we go, another nice picture in Wistocks, a nice sunny day. And we can see all the activity that's been going on there. Again, we can click on a picture. We can see the monitoring, who's following it, who's collaborating there. If we go onto the activity piece, we can see what's been going on. At the moment, there's no activity. However, the idea is you go to the record button and you can add your activities to against that Bee Cafe. The final one here, as mentioned, is tasks, and we can assign tasks to a Bee Cafe, such as go and water it at this date, go and check it, go and do some beeheading, maybe just go and get a picture, show us what it's about. And the idea then is, as people do the tasks, engage in activity, then they get badges showing you what's going on each one. Here's another one, Elmhurst Park. 5 collaborators to activities. And some of the activities we can add an educational piece, we can do a bit of litter cleanup if we want, take some measurements, write a report, and the most important one is watering, when we've watered it. Now, as I said, the idea is this scales up. So we have a few at the moment, we can all doing a good job, we can all be monitoring it. However, when this scales up to hundreds or thousands, when a volunteer's gone down to watering, it gives us an indication of what's going on out there and whether one's not being watered or given attention, and we need to go and check it. And you can understand how, if we have hundreds of these and say 10s or 20s aren't being looked after and nobody does anything, then they could degrade, the flowers could die off, and then we have a poor situation. And this is a general problem when these sort of things have been tried in the other places and planned as put out, and they don't get looked after, then the whole project dies off and they lose the benefits. So this shows the state of the app currently. We will engage with the volunteers and improve things. We'd like some feedback, usability, new ideas that go in, how it works, any glitches. A lot of work's gone into it to make sure it's as smooth as possible and logical to use. So remember, you log in, you go to the bee passes to see where the bee cafes are, log into the cafes, the one you're looking after, or you might be assigned to, and then log activity. And this will help to make sure the whole Bee Cafe project runs smoothly and continues to improve the community.